What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of everyone's favorite not a boy band from Australia, 5 Seconds of Summer. Instead, a pop rock outfit that released their debut self-titled LP last summer, and now they're already following it up with an album called Sounds Good, Feels Good. Sounds Good, Feels Good is going to feel very familiar to anyone that listened to the debut album, and if you saw my review of it,
but they ultimately just come off uninteresting to me and don't really captivate me through the entire listen. In summation, I'm disappointed with this record. Not entirely, but still. The band has potential, and I don't doubt that they will and can make better songs.
Then you know how I feel. I like aspects of 5 Seconds of Summer. They have guitars in their music, they write a lot of their own stuff, they collaborate with the likes of Alex from All Time Low, the Madden Brothers, a lot of people that I looked up to growing up, bringing them in for writing sessions, and they have influences like Green Day, Blink-182, and the Ramones, and of course the Romantics, considering they did a cover of one of their songs, and I definitely think that that pops up once again on this record. Now, unfortunately, a lot of times they wear those influences directly on their sleeve. I mean, they wear the heart on the sleeve. Obviously, that's their fan base, and a lot of their songs are geared towards teenage girls, if we're being honest. But a lot of the time, I think that they aim at a wider demographic, and I think that this album is split up into 3 different sections, and it goes as follows. The opening 4 or 5 songs, maybe even, are ones that are kind of mass appealing, just talking about getting out of the daily routine, just wanting to go on a permanent vacation, and a song that sounds a lot like Green Day meets All Time Low, and I can't really get past the influences a lot of the time just because it's so overbearing. In fact, it's a little bit of a nuisance whenever I'm listening to some of these tracks. You've got songs like Money and then She's Kinda Hot that are definitely applicable to things other than just girls and relationships. Then we move towards the middle of this record, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily a hit the nail on the head type analogy, but for the most part, the middle and the longest section of this record is relationship-centric, not only ballads, but some more powering tunes, and then we get to the final stage, stage 3 of Sounds Good, Feels Good, which is the larger-than-life. Nope, not the Backstreet Boys song, but the larger-than-life type feel that they try to add to these songs, and it's an element that I just feel like they're not quite ready for yet because it just comes off cheesy. Songs like Airplanes, I can appreciate Michael Clifford singing on this track. I like the fact that they switch up singers and actually have some nice vocal harmonies, but on this track, it's just coming off so cheesy. They're talking about airplanes like angels in the sky, and then these big booming choruses that roll in not only on that track, but of course on San Francisco and Outer Space / Carry On as well. All of those tunes just feel like they're lacking something, and I think what that is a true heart. It doesn't feel like they come from a very genuine place. It seems like these were songs that they were almost handed. They're very well orchestrated. They mixed the orchestration in with the guitars and some synthesizers and some other things, and it just comes off feeling like kind of a convoluted listen, not really something that I'm that interested in. Overall though, I think that there are some good songs on here. She's Kinda Hot, first listen, didn't really resonate with me, but then about 10 times later I found myself coming back to it, gravitating towards it over and over again, eventually singing the chorus pretty much every time I hear it in passing. It's one of those songs that doesn't necessarily have a specific target demographic, I don't think, but at the same time, if you're not having at least a little bit of fun with tracks like this, and even Jet Black Heart, you're probably doing something wrong. With 5 Seconds of Summer, it's kind of like you have to take things with a grain of salt because a lot of them are very fun-geared or else relationship-centric songs, and I have to remind myself that no, it's not necessarily meant for me, but I think that songs like that can still be enjoyable, or I guess I should say bands like that in general, because I enjoyed One Direction's last album, 4, that dropped, and even aspects of 5 Seconds of Summer debut LP. But with Sounds Good, Feels Good, I just feel like we got a lot of the same. There's songs that definitely just beat and drill it into you, that they have more of an emotionally in touch side, like Invisible, which is just more of a stripped down ballad that I've heard one too many times to care about. And then you've got tracks like San Francisco that just see them pleading and begging for this relationship or for this girl to stay and just recall the good times. And then Of course, Catch Fire and Vapor, just more songs that I was talking about earlier, just kind of really putting their vulnerable side out there. And I don't think that they really do it in the most creative way, especially when a lot of the instrumentation just feels flat and very monotonous. I think that some people are going to dig this album. Obviously, their fan base is going to eat it up just like that. But for anyone looking for anything of real depth, I don't think that it's necessarily here. I don't dislike this album in general. I think that there's some songs that I'm definitely going to keep listening to, like Jet Black Heart, She's Kinda Hot. Fly Away is another one that's been resonating with me, surprisingly, with repeated listens. It's got kind of a flying chorus on it, which definitely makes sense given the name of the song. And even elements of Outer Space / Carry On. I really do like the latter half of that one just because it strips things back. It goes for this like way too big type thing, like they couldn't even contain it in the Earth, so they had to talk about outer space, but then we just kind of fall back to Earth with Carry On, and it's kind of a nice, soothing outro for this album. Overall, I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5 for Sounds Good, Feels Good. Once again, I gave their debut album the same rating, and I don't really see this as a progression for them. The songwriting didn't really improve here, the production felt weaker in some regards, and even though some of the lyrical content and some of the moments feel a little bit more mature, I just don't see this as much of a step forward for Five Sauce. Overall, 3 out of 5. Let me know your thoughts down below. So before you start swarming the comments with all of the I don't understands and etc, insert rabid fanbase comment here, keep in mind that this is all just my opinion. Let me know what you thought with a comment, and of course if there's other albums you'd like to see me tackle, well, let me know about them with a comment. Don't forget to smash the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my future reviews, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. You can click right here to go to my second channel where I do track reviews, talk about music news, and all of that kind of cool stuff. And then of course you can check out the last review that I did right here on this channel by clicking right over here. Check out all the links in the description if you want to find me on social media. Other than that, I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.